Hi, hope you guys are doing well. So today we will be looking at the wireframe modifier. To add this, go into add modifier, generate, and then into the wireframe modifier. It basically takes the edges and vertices and turns them into the wireframe modifier, but it actually doesn't work if, let's just say, I have a plane and I go into edit mode and its center, and then I'll start just selecting these vertices, and as you can see, before we continue, please consider subscribing. Only 9% of you are actually subscribed. My goal is to reach 2.5k subs by the end of this year, and drop a like and a comment while you're at it. I'll just start making this vertices, and if I add in a wireframe modifier over here, it's actually not going to affect it. For that, you're actually going to be using the skin modifier if you just have vertices and edges. But if you have a proper mesh, then you can use the wireframe modifier. So you can obviously adjust the thickness, and it's sort of like the same as the solidify modifier, where the offset, if it's 0, it's going to add thickness to the inner and outer part by dividing the thickness. And if I set this to 1, it's actually going outward. So now our thickness is outward, and if I go into 0, and all of these values are again animatable. Now it's all of the thickness is on the inner side. All of these values are animatable. As you can see that there are dots over here, you can just easily animate them. I'll just change the thickness to 0.1 and the offset to 0. Also, if you click on turn off replace original, it will still keep the faces. Okay, if you turn on replace original, then it will remove the faces. So it's up to you what kind of thing you want. You can go with even thickness or relative, or have them both turn on and off. Okay, so there's that. But the relative one, I think, is going to work best with the vertex group. So I'll type to edit mode, select it all, right click, subdivide it about this much, and then I will just go into Wireframe mode, take the gradient paint option, and just move it about over here. So now I'll just go into my object mode. You can see that I have a wireframe where I have vertices and edges. So now I have this sort of cage. But if I turn on the vertex group, you can see that the thickness is starting to fade away where there wasn't any weight. If I go with even, it's all even, but relative and even combined, it gives a different result. And if it's just even, then it keeps this value face value, and then slowly start fading it away depending upon the vertex group. Also, you can have a material offset as well. Let me just add this. Material 1 is red, and our second material is yellow. And blender, for blender, this isn't material 1, it's actually material 0 for blender, and this is material 1 for blender. The material divisor 1 is 1, and this is material 0. So I'll just go over here and click on turn off replace original. As you can see, we have this cool looking window sort of thing. And if I turn let me just go to material view. Currently it has all of them in red color. If I turn the material offset to 1, now it's actually using the material yellow material. Okay, so because that's off, it was material index was different. If I add in another material, so now this is material 2. Okay, even though it's 1 2 3, it's actually 2. And I'll change this to maybe blue, and if I change this material offset to 2, as you can see, now it's actually blue. You can again use a vertex group. You can actually mess with the factor. As you can see, if I turn it to 1, it's now stop using the weight, but if I go to 0, it's actually using the vertex group completely. And if you want to use creased edges, you can turn this on. If you remember correctly, I used to show you how to create a creased edge. I don't know how it's going to work with this one, but Shift and E to create a creased edge. As you can see, this has a purple outline, whereas all the others are just black. So but I don't know how it works with the wireframe modifier. Also, I'll just show you an application of the wireframe modifier. I'll just delete this, Shift A, mesh, and add in a plane, or X and 90 to front view, tab into edit mode, and then X to scale it. I'll just click on Control A and apply rotation, and then right click and I'll subdivide it, and I'll subdivide it again. I don't need these central edges. I'll click on Shift and Alt to just delete these central edges. I actually just want this, and then I'm just going to go ahead and add a wireframe. So if I wanted, let's just say a railing or some sort, I can easily just create it. So there you have it. You can actually use it to create, like, maybe even windows or anything that has a cage sort of feeling it. You can easily just create that and that. So I hope you guys learned something today. Please leave a like and a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.